From 2018 to 2021, there was not a more dominant pitcher in baseball than Jacob DeGrom. You want to talk about good vibes? He won 2 Cy Young Awards, received MVP votes twice, and of the 20 starting pitchers to throw at least 550 innings in those 4 years, he had the best ERA+, BWAR, ERA, FIP, and WHIP, while striking out the 3rd most hitters over that span. In fact, only Garrett Cole and Max Scherzer struck out more hitters in those 4 seasons, but those two also threw 80 and 60 more innings respectively than DeGrom. And do you remember his start to the 2021 season? In his first 15 starts, he went 7-2 with an ERA of 1.08, a FIP of 1.24, while averaging 14.3 Ks per 9 and posting a WHIP of just 554. Jacob DeGrom was on pace to have maybe the best season by a pitcher ever, and at 33 years old, looked like a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer years down the line. But then he got hurt. DeGrom missed the second half of the 2021 season with elbow inflammation, missed most of the 2022 season with a scapula issue, before returning and posting an ERA just over 3 in 11 starts to finish the 2022 season as the Mets, well, they bombed out of the playoffs. He still averaged 14.3 Ks per 9, but opted out of his deal with the Mets that offseason, signed a 5-year, $185 million deal with the Texas Rangers, proceeded to then blow his elbow out after just 6 starts, more on that later, and coming into the 2025 season, had pitched just 41 total innings in his 2 years with the Rangers. In the course of just 3.5 years, those Hall of Fame aspirations transformed into, will he ever pitch effectively again? I'll admit it, I thought DeGrom was cooked. Oops. As of June 11, 2025, Jacob DeGrom ranks in the top 10 in all of baseball in ERA, wins, WHIP, and adjusted ERA+. He's making me look silly and has reignited those Hall of Fame conversations as a 37-year-old. And after having Tommy John surgery. Twice. So how's he doing it? Has anything changed from then to now? And by the numbers, considering everything, is the Hall of Fame once again actually within reach? Welcome to Good Vibes Baseball. Please be sure to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. Helps me out a ton, and I do appreciate each and every one of you legends. Now let's get into the good vibes, shall we? Do wins matter for starting pitchers? Let's ask Paul Skeens, eh? Joking aside, thanks to the advanced metrics made available to us in the 21st century, wins don't matter nearly as much as they once did, and guess what? Jacob DeGrom's brilliance was a huge part of that narrative shift. Did you realize that of the 10 starting pitchers to win the Cy Young with less than 15 wins, Fernando Valenzuela is the only one who pitched prior to 2010. And even then, from 2010 up to 2020, only 2 starters won the Cy Young with less than 15 wins. Felix Hernandez in 2010 and Jacob DeGrom in 2018 and again in 2019. And 2020 was the COVID year, where 12 starts led the league. That means outside of the COVID year, no starting pitcher has won the Cy Young Award with fewer wins than Jacob DeGrom. In 2018, he went 10-9 with a 1.70 ERA, 1.98 FIP, a phenomenal 218 ERA+, a WHIP just over 900, while striking out 269 hitters. He actually led the entire league that year in ERA, FIP, ERA+, and home runs per 9. But again, with just 10 wins. 2019 was more of the same as he won just 11 games while dominating the competition on the way to his 2nd Cy Young in as many seasons. It was refreshing to see voters recognize that it wasn't his fault that the Mets couldn't score when he started. The analytics won out. It also helped that anytime DeGrom pitched, you could just see how dominant he was. But what if I told you that his 2018 season, not his best? Neither was his 2019 season. I'd actually argue that his 2021 season was the better of the 3 seasons when looking at just the analytics. He was basically unhittable over the course of his 15 starts before having to miss the second half due to elbow inflammation. He went 7-2 with an ERA of just 1.08, a FIP of just 1.24, and a WHIP of just 554. I've actually never seen a WHIP that low over that many starts before. This 2018 through 2021 run was peak Jacob DeGrom, and honestly, it's something I never thought I'd see again. But here we are in 2025, and Jacob DeGrom is just sipping his tea while dominating hitters once again. But by the numbers, are we really seeing peak DeGrom? Or have injuries changed who he is as a pitcher? Well, surprisingly, it's neither. It's actually fascinating to see how DeGrom has evolved, or hasn't, as a pitcher over the years. He's always relied heavily on his excellent fastball and lightning-fast slider to dominate hitters. He then sprinkled in changeups and curveballs to keep hitters off balance. And from his debut in 2014 through the 2019 season, Jacob DeGrom also threw a sinker. But its usage decreased every year up until 2020, when he didn't throw it at all, or ever again, moving forward. It's almost like he used that 2020 season to test out the no-sinker approach before ascending to that next level in 2021. And wouldn't you know it, in 2025, DeGrom is still a 4-pitch pitcher who relies heavily on fastballs up and then tunneling his off-speed pitches from that same window. His fastball-slider combo is still one of the best in the game too, as he actually is in the 99th percentile in breaking run value so far in 2025. His overall approach actually hasn't changed that much over the years. The biggest change actually has been in his mechanics. His arm angle has dropped from 36 degrees in 2021 to just 30 degrees in 2025. This intrigues me because it's something we are seeing in other pitchers post Tommy John surgery recently, with Sandy Alcantara a great example. His velo has also dropped a couple of miles per hour, but the dude is 37 and still rocking an average fastball velo of 97.1 and an average slider velo close to 90 miles per hour. He's still pumping it in faster than 10% of the league. But despite his success in 2025, the underlying numbers aren't actually that great compared to his peak. He's got an expected ERA of 3, is actually giving up a decent amount of hard hit balls, and isn't striking out that many hitters. In fact, earlier in 2025, DeGrom even had his first start ever without recording a strikeout, breaking an insane string of 229 starts to begin his career. He's also producing the same ground ball percentage and walking more hitters too. But here's the thing, peak Jacob DeGrom might have been the most dominant starting pitcher ever. His slider in 2021 was on average faster than Aaron Nola's 2025 four-seam fastball. We will never see that Jacob DeGrom again. But DeGrom Light, still one heck of a pitcher. In fact, if he can keep this up, could the Hall of Fame actually be within reach? Getting old sucks. Well, Jacob DeGrom is in his age 37 season. But you know what? Success at his age is not unheard of by any means, and even for flamethrowers like himself. Randy Johnson might be the best example of pitchers having success in their later years, and he absolutely brought the heat. Just ask that bird. He won over 20 games while posting 10+ B-WAR seasons in both 2001 and 2002, with ERAs under 2.5 while striking out over 300 hitters both seasons on his way to back-to-back Cy Young wins. He was 37 in 2001 and 38 in 2002. He was also great in 2004 as a 40-year-old and very solid the following year as a 41-year-old. Roger Clemens, John Smoltz, and Justin Verlander are also great examples of power pitchers who have gone on to have success in their late 30s and into their early 40s too. Verlander even posted an ERA under 2 in his age 39 season for the Astros in 2022. But the real question with DeGrom isn't going to be if he's nasty enough to get into the Hall. It will be if he can keep this up for long enough. As of June 11th, 2025, Jacob DeGrom has pitched a total of 1,443 1/3 innings. If that seems like a lot, consider that Babe Ruth pitched over 1,200 innings in his career. In fact, there are only 18 players with less than 2,000 innings pitched as a starting pitcher in the Hall of Fame. And none of them are modern-day players. DeGrom has never thrown more than 217 innings in a single season and has actually only thrown over 200 in a season 3 times in his career, meaning he'd actually have to average at least 200 innings a year for the next 3 to pass that 2,000 inning mark. He also only has 90 career wins. I know I said they don't matter, but Babe Ruth and his 1,200 plus career innings pitched, 94 career wins. They matter a little bit. But if he's pitching like he is in 2025 over the course of even just the next few years, he's going to give writers a lot to think about when he shows up on the ballot. The other thing voters will have to consider? He's doing this after a second Tommy John surgery. According to baseball researcher John Righelli's online record, of the 2,000 plus players to have had the operation, 163 of those have had the procedure at least twice. Of those, Jameson Taillon, Dustin May, and Cole Reagans might be the most successful to this point. Walker Buehler has self-admittedly been terrible in 2025, and we will see how Shohei does moving forward. But honestly, the history, it's not in DeGrom's favor. That's what makes his 6-2 record with a 2.12 ERA at age 37 even more impressive. 2 Tommy Johns, and at his age? We've never seen it before. Jacob DeGrom has been phenomenal to start the 2025 season. He's lowered his arm angle and lost a tick on his legendary fastball, but he's attacking hitters in the same way that he always has and is still one of the best starting pitchers in baseball. If he can keep this 2025 pace up for the next few seasons, he's going to surpass 2,000 innings pitched and could reach 2,500 career strikeouts. And that's after having one of the most dominant peaks by a starting pitcher ever. He's Jacob DeGrom, future Hall of Famer. That's gonna do it for today, baseball fans. Thanks so much for watching. Do you think DeGrom has a shot at the Hall? What impresses you the most about his unlikely resurgence? Comment below, and please be sure to subscribe if you haven't, and smash that like button if you enjoyed yourself. I know I did. But until next time, baseball fans, cheers!